I see. I see. We're assuming that structs have names, but they don't always. They don't always. How's it going, people? Good evening. I decided to do another subscribers only stream because it's late night and, you know, I wanted a higher quality situation. That's all. Ah. How's it going? I will get some water and be right back to work on this. So obviously we're dereferencing pointers that we shouldn't be, but I feel like this is something we already handle somewhere else. Like when we print, there's a type to string function, and I don't know why we're not using that actually. In fact, we have a thing called wanted and given string. I don't know why we don't just call that here. Probably because this is old code. Sweden appreciates the late night value providing. How is Davos going? Wait, that's Switzerland. Never mind. I just committed the American crime of confusing Switzerland and Sweden. I've even been to Sweden. Twice. Open SSL deep dive? Is someone doing an open SSL deep dive? That sounds terrible. Sounds terrible. Oh yes, you're deep in open SSL code. Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Why? Okay. So like, it is totally a thing on the internet about like only one person maintains OpenSSL and they're unpaid and they're such a hero and whatever. And that's probably not untrue. But at the same time, if this really is a critical piece of security, why does the code look the way it does, right? Like, for something to actually be secure, it has to be small and very clear. So, like, I don't know what people are thinking. You're sure Davos is going well? You prefer Europe in abstract over a specific state? Well, in Britain, they don't think that way. I mean, the whole Schengen zone thing in Europe is nice as a visitor, probably also nice as somebody who lives there. Um, I think that also happens by necessity, right? Because the countries are smaller and close together. Like in the USA, we have states geographically the size of European countries, right? And or bigger. And like if we had to show a passport to go from one state to another, that would be a drag. DreamHack Counter-Strike tournament? No. What did I do in Sweden? I was at a dance retreat one time. And I'm trying to remember what I was doing the other time. So I was in Uppsala, which was for a retreat. And I was in Stockholm. I'm pretty sure I went to Stockholm at one point, but I don't remember for what. So maybe I'm actually hallucinating that and it's false and I've only been to Sweden one time. I mean, I've been to Copenhagen, which is close to Sweden. It's across the bridge. A couple times, but no. Yeah, maybe I've only been to Sweden once. I mean, Europe is it's pretty interesting, actually. I mean, there's tons and tons of European Union political arguments and stuff, right? But like 70 years ago, everybody in Europe was shooting each other, right? I mean, for some parts of Eastern Europe, that was like 30 years ago. So like, it's really not that bad of a situation comparatively. Uppsala is nice. Yeah, it was okay. Although when I was there were some it was weird because there were some nice parts of town and there were some rundown parts. Currently in Malmo, i.e. Greater Copenhagen area. Yeah. Yeah, I've never been to Malmo. But I have been right across the bridge. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Croatia a couple years ago, and there's still bombed out buildings there and stuff. So like, there was a game conference in, what's it called? Dubrovnik, Game of Thrones town. And there's just like hotels in Dubrovnik that are still destroyed and full of bullet holes and stuff. You're shooting each other since the beginning of time until 70 years ago. That is also true. Yes. With a couple brief breaks, right? Like during the Roman Empire, you had like, after getting shot by Roman dudes, then you had a good few hundred years of break, right, from the shooting. Did it feel weird seeing the damaged buildings? It didn't feel weird. It's just a very clear reminder, right? Like, because I'm old, I was in college when that whole war was happening. And, we knew about it from the news and stuff, but it was definitely one of those faraway things that, because the United States was trying to help do a peace deal or something, that's why we knew about it. But yeah, it's definitely a different thing to like be there and see the aftermath. Dark Ages were the dopest. Yeah. Call of Duty Yugoslavia. I mean, that's pretty weird because they just did their 1980s Call of Duty, which is pretty close to that time-wise. Okay, so let's look at this. I think I just do this. I think we go interp wanted given. Like we delete all this and say this. Really? What? Polymorph doesn't know this. I put that there. C++. Thanks, C++. What is the current focus? The current focus is just reported bugs in the mailbag. Okay, so type restriction does not match. Type wanted table. What is going on here? We have to fix, this is a separate bug, but like here, we're like, I fixed something just like this before, and I don't know why it's, I forget exactly what it was. It's like we're not printing a new line or something. I don't know. We have to fix that too. But first this. type wanted table, type given anonymous struct. Okay, let's just... Try to match polymorph argument 1 of 4 expansion. Okay. Several things about this that I don't love. Let's actually go back to the thing. Okay, so the problem is members is an array of, or no, members is a type infos. Or no. Okay, type infos is a table that maps U32 to this struct. So members is this struct. Okay, when we say anonymous struct, let's say where it is. Okay. Because who know, like in a bigger program, you're like, I don't know which anonymous struct, what? So here at least we could say where it's defined. So let's try that. Okay. File name, line number, probably character number. Let's do line number for now. Okay, so let's just start logging what we're fixing. Fixed a crash when reporting failed type restrictions, non-matching type restrictions, involving anonymous structs, improved error reporting when anonymous structs are involved, printing the anonymous struct type, indicate the file and line where it is defined. Okay, so we need to say what the file name and line number here are. And okay, and then so we just do this. Auto. Okay. That totally didn't do anything. What? Why is there completely copy pasted code right here? Wait, no, that's not. Never mind. I was looking at the same code and I'm like, wait, that's the same code. But it's because I'm looking at the same code. So this is down here. Okay, so this is if it's polymorphic, all right? And then okay, it's two different cases. Okay, it's defined at Prince in the Revolution, :4. Okay. That's so messed up that printf will like let you pass that. Okay, so that's better. So we fixed the crash. We fixed the, let's just check those in and then we'll go on to like this and then probably this. Or actually, no, I'm sure this says for expansion and I can't see it because of this. So yeah, okay. Let's run the tests. I just want the tests. I give up. Do more or less people subscribe to the substreams? We actually get a bunch of people who subscribe. Like, okay, here's a bit of subscriber exclusive info. Okay. The number of viewers during a sub stream compared to a normal stream is a lot lower. It's like between 1/3 to 1/6. Right, it's a much smaller number of people, but the total number of subs to the channel is way up. The total number of subs to the channel is more than double since we started doing subscriber only streams. Now we don't really care that much. We don't try to make money from subs to the channel. It's just more of a fun way for people to participate if they want. I mean, we make a little bit of money that we use, you know, to like buy streamer equipment, but you know, it's not how I make a living. But it's like, you know, it's a lot higher. So that's interesting. I wonder why more streamers don't do it. What are my thoughts on string interpolation? I don't think it's a very good idea because, for example, it seems to me like if you want to do it in a statically typed language like this with internationalization, or your strings come from like a database, like just try to work that out and let me know how it's supposed to work, right? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, you know, because most streams are not subscriber only, it's just a nice extra thing. And if people want to sub, they feel like they're getting something for the sub because they get some extra streams, right? I mean, they're getting extra streams. Yeah. How it's supposed to work doesn't. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I could imagine some ways for it to work, but it would involve like your compilation phase reading your string database and enumerating over all possible languages and reporting errors for any of them. Like, I don't know. That said, when there was a Twitter exchange about this, like Tim Sweeney said he thought it made sense to do, and I just think he wasn't thinking about it. I mean, Tim's obviously he's a smart guy who would know. So I don't know. Maybe he had some other totally picture of how it would work too, but yeah, hard to say. Maybe also like I don't actually know what they do in Verse. This was before Verse was released, which is their new Unreal Engine language because they don't have enough programming languages in Unreal Engine yet. Like maybe it's got string interpolation in it, but like if you assume a totally closed system, like hey, we're in Unreal and we can see all the data and whatever, then maybe something like that could be a thing. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make that much sense to me though, even then. Twitch doesn't send notifications to your email for the sub-only streams. I assume that subscribers should get the email. I don't know. Maybe people only find out about them if they're logged in and they see it come up on the side. I don't know. Maybe I should announce sub-only streams. We're going to try the Tea Runner's Ginger Lime Rooibos tea and see how it is. Oh, this smells like one of those like some kind of sour candy that you would get from the store that's like doesn't taste very good. I'm so far more advanced. Listen, I wasted so much time in high school and college not being good. You could be way better than me I mean, you naturally get better the more you practice something and the more you age, right? But yeah, depending on how old you are, right? I mean, if you're my age, you obviously aren't going to change much by the time you're my age. But if you're younger, just don't underestimate what time will do for your ability to get things done. Like, I could have been so much better of a programmer even just in college if I spent less time playing crappy MUDs because I felt lonely and more time fucking getting good. You're 24, but you've been programming since 8th grade. Okay. I mean, when I was 24, I thought I was a really good programmer, and I was, in fact, not as good as I am now by a lot. So, yeah, there's always lots and lots of room to improve. Lots and lots of room to improve. Except, of course, 24 is the highest number, so you won't get any older. So that's, I don't know. Okay, So while the tea water is still boiling, I have a bad feeling about this tea, but we're going to see. Before I actually push the submit button, I've got to remember to run on Sokoban. Let's put the error message things there. Okay. Let's... Okay. And it probably runs. It does, so I'm checking that in. Let's look at this, though. This frickin' problem. What is going on there? I feel like that happened because we were going to the wrong output stream is what it was last time. Oh wait, comma stream. Comma stream, comma stream. Show error context with suffix. I think this is the problem. So here it's just hard-coded for standard error. But here we say stream, but that's just standard error. So it's this low-lit thing. What if I do that? Maybe it's just incorrect. Nope. Okay, let's make sure that this is the thing. Let's try that. Yeah. So somehow we're printing this for expansion thing. And then we're printing on top of it, which okay. What if our number of bytes in the line is off by 1? So we're doing the carriage return, but not the line feed. Like, what if I do this? Okay. So we actually, right, we want the -1 here. There we go. So why is it -1? So let's figure out what WTF is going on there. Oh, we're probably subtracting 1 already from line dot length or something. We're like probably subtracting 1 for the new line and forgetting it's 2 bytes on Windows. Something like that. We actually probably should trim all spaces from the end of the line anyway, because it's quite common, at least when I'm in Emacs or something, that I'll have, I don't know, there's not one right now, but sometimes I have lines with just a bunch of spaces on the end for whatever reason. So it's probably good just to elide all that anyway. So let's... So leading spaces. Okay. End minus input cursor. Okay. Yeah, so we stop at new line. So let's say on Windows we might have does \r, is it true for is space? Anyway, this is a really gross loop here. But also, we want to trim any trailing spaces off the line, since those would look messy in error messages. All right, so while end is greater than input cursor, right? End minus minus if is space input dot data end break, right? Oh God, that didn't work. Let me pour this tea before it gets super nasty. Probably shouldn't have let it steep this long, given my fears. We won't pour it all the way to the bottom. Okay. Hello, rating people. What is happening? Wait, you rated a sub-only stream. Why are you rating a sub-only stream? Your people can only see 5-minute preview. I mean, welcome everybody to your 5-minute preview of this stream. We are working on error reporting in this compiler. There have been, hey, welcome to the sub now. I mean, the compiler has been used for a long time, and error messages have kind of been mostly good enough, but like, you know, there's always a couple things where it's like, oh, that's a little wrong and that's a little wrong. So we're fixing them. And this one is a weird formatting error that happens when we report overloads. And we've sort of figured it out, except I didn't, right? I think so end starts at input cursor and we go forward. All right, up to a new line. So now we want to go backwards. And I think end is supposed to be like one past, right? So I think we want that, and this is okay because we know input cursor is valid, I think. Now, I don't think this is actually still going to work because when we got this mess, yeah, like something else is going on here. So let's just break there because I have no idea. Now, I don't actually know if this is, okay, so input cursor, end is 123. Okay. So end minus minus is now equal to input cursor. Oh, this down here, by the way, though. Okay, that's already wrong. I don't think that's our problem. But we want to say auto orig end equals end. This is where the input cursor will skip to. Okay. Okay, so that's still not going to fix our spam problem here. Why using Windows? Because you can actually program video games on Windows. Because like, it all goes back to like, because people actually buy software on Windows. So that's where video card drivers actually work correctly. And that's where the software ecosystem actually supports software that people buy. Also, Windows used to work better and be more reliable than Linux, but since Microsoft is doing their best to destroy Windows, it's not really true anymore. I mean, it still kind of does work better in some contexts. Okay, this T is really gross. I have to go get rid of it. We get so much tea from tea runners that it's fine to dump a little bit once in a while, you know? Okay, so here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a length 0 line. Not sure it's worth doing that. Okay. So end 169, input cursor 124. So we definitely have some text here. So where does end up? All right. Info.length is end minus input cursor, leading spaces, current line number, and then we add it. And then we have 170 to 198 to 197, so that cuts the \r. 5442. So we're printing out the 4 expansion line down here to 5517. Okay. That seems fine. Maybe that did fix it. Hold on. Nope. It's probably the 0 length line is messing with us. C++, got to put parentheses. All right. Yeah. I'm not sure that that's the right thing. I'm just going to put a note about why I did that. Although let's check a little bit further because there might be something weird. Like, are we subtracting one later for an incorrect reason? Okay. But one thing at a time, let's just say when reporting errors with overloaded procedure calls, fix the printing of the file and line number annotation on each overload. It was often wrong in Windows. Okay. Coding and wingdings. This is actually the new programming language that we're working on today. It looks like this. I mean, that's actually already a thing, but I'm just saying. This tea is gross. Okay. No check-in, explain. Now, why? I think that actually might have been the problem. Min. Yep. So what was happening was we were saying there's a bunch of leading spaces and then making the line shorter than that, which was not possible previously. So let's just do this. Should we bother to put blank lines in? Maybe if we want to reproduce new lines in the source, but actually we cut those out in most cases, so most or all, I don't want to. Okay. That's great. Let's run the tests. They're going to be fine, I'm sure, but Wingding script. I mean, there is a thing called emoji script, right? That is a thing. I'm reporting to the bug reporter person. This is fixed in the next beta. Hit send. Ding, dang. Okay. So this is good. We're going to go to the change log. We're going to say, this is the thing. We're going to commit. Boom. Okay. Next up. Internal compiler error. When affecting unary struct literal using a ternary expression. I don't know what's going to go on there. So we'll rename this. Confused about what is happening with the unary struct literal. Okay. This probably isn't that hard to fix. You know what? Let's try. I almost never set settings. But like, what's the frickin' output window? How do we auto fucking close it? No, not output window. Console. This is why I hate this. Options, tools, options, debugging. I don't see debugging. Oh, debugging, general, automatically close the console. I searched for the word console. Okay, anyway. We're going to try this and see if we hate this setting or not. Okay. So what's going on, I think, is that, so for ifx, we just check the types of each of these things. And we don't push types back in the other direction right now. So I think what happens is we get something that's a unary literal, but there's never any way actually to resolve the type. So it probably gets resolved here on the ifx, but that doesn't get pushed down. And the current language semantics are that it shouldn't get pushed down. That might be something we change later. But yeah, confused about what is happening with a unary struct literal. It's in one of these. So we're just going to do this. Okay. We're checking in a bind. Okay, so for the equal, we're doing a check that types match. And I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically, it's not a literal. So we say confused about what is happening with a unary struct literal. The thing is, so I could go change if x. The problem is, are there other cases where we don't handle this? So I'm going to put a note here saying, hey, after we put this in, we had to go do a thing in ifx. Maybe there's other things, and if so, maybe we should handle this here instead of at the particular sites. And then we'll go do that. That'll be pretty easy. However, I want a tea that's not gross, so we're going to warm up some more water. Any other questions right now? No, we're not. We're gonna do a tea with no caffeine because it's 11:30 p.m. And also, I've been looking really tired lately, and for my streaming audience, I want to look as good as possible, and that means maybe if I look tired because I'm drinking too much caffeine every day, we got to chill that out. Maybe it's also old. I turn 20 next year, so it's one of those things. Do I like pu'er tea? I do like pu'er tea. It's good. It's very easy to accidentally oversteep, though, so be careful with that. What keyboard do I use? There's like a command if you say keyboard, yeah. Or at least there used to be. Thought it was this year. I mean, it's one of these years. Look, I turned 20 at some point. All right, we are back to the cinnamon plum tea. Oh, Insobot is not subscribed. Well, okay, so the keyboard is, it's a Filco FILCK TL15 made in Taiwan, and it's got cherry blue switches. Maybe the bot could be a VIP. I don't think I want the bot around during sub-only streams. It's just a source of noise, right? Like maybe what I value about sub-only streams would change. Okay, so matching.cpp, we're going to say unary literal handling. Seeing this error, I went and fixed that in this particular case, but I am not sure if it is something that can happen generally. If so, maybe we should handle it here more officially. Okay. So do if x checks. Check that types match. Okay. Now, yeah, we're not doing anything here. So so we also need to go there's this other case that's similar. Oh, you can't actually have a unary enum. There's no way to Okay, so we want to verify that there's no way to generate that case, but first we fix this. So if the definition is type def unary literal, what do? We report an error. Evaluate to anonymous struct literals in the current within the current type system. There's no way for the type to be decided because type matching does not propagate backward from root to leaves. We might change this eventually for specific cases like if X. In the meantime, you'll need to designate the type of at least one of the literals. Okay. Okay. The range, I have a note that the lexical range for if X does not cover the whole keyword. I think we want to highlight the whole keyword. So that's like a separate thing. Anyway, let's make sure that is, there's a slim chance that this could break some tests. I doubt it, but we're going to run them. Yeah, if X is just like an if that takes an expression. The reason it's a little bit different / better than ternary operator is because in theory you could have whole blocks of code in the then and the else block, except we kind of don't do returning values from blocks yet, but we might do that. We might do that. Okay. Let me see if I can simplify this description. We'll also run the Sokoban. Evaluate to anonymous struct literals. No way for the type to be decided. Yeah. Now I think if I go here and we do the same thing is there's no way to get the same error, I don't think. Oh, there is. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and put a better error message here for this case. anonymous enum. Evaluate two enum members without explicit type designations. That's probably better than saying anonymous enum. Like, it might be confusing. This is definitely something that people do in code, this case. This case is pretty rare. This one people do, and so it's good to have a better error message for it. Really? Unary dereference. All right. There we go. I better pour this tea before it gets gross. Ah, dang it. We have a tea emergency. Drop the strainer in again. I like this tea mug because it is nice and large, but the strainer that I often use is such a size that it kind of balances somewhat precariously on the edges here. And sometimes when I pour, I knock it in. And then all the tea leaves that the strainer had caught are in there. And so I had to go refilter them out. See, the people that we are shipping these fixes to do not appreciate the full spectrum of what we do to deliver the value here, is what I'm saying. Kind of how Rust handles inline mid-expression scopes. I'm not familiar with that Rust feature, but it sounds like it. Yeah, that's not something, I mean, we do something like that in specific cases, but we haven't enabled it in the general case. And it's one of those things where I'm thinking we probably will. It's just not a super high priority item on the roadmap. Arrays, or no, there is no automatic memory management in this language. Well, I mean, yeah, there's no automatic memory management. I think that's a bad idea for systems programming languages. I think I steeped this one a little too long. It's gross now. Have I decided about the paid beta access? So we have something, I'm talking to someone about doing something that would be elaborate and cool and fun. But that might be too big of a project. Like, maybe we should just do something less elaborate and cool and fun and just get to closed beta for more people. So we're just sort of deciding that right now. What was I considering was automatic memory management? Well, like, you know, I mean, the fact that you can have an allocator in the context is like, it's not like you're explicitly designating the allocator every time, right? People might think that that's what I meant when I said there's no automatic memory management. No allocate. No, we don't have allocate right now. We might do it, but honestly, like, temporary allocator is so good, you kind of don't want allocate very much. Because temporary storage is about as fast, not quite as fast, but it's about as fast. And it lets you return things from functions, which allocate doesn't. So have fun with that. Oh man, we might have to ban Insabot from sub-only chat. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's not too much noise. But yeah, we might do allocate at some point. It's just it's mildly complicated, right? Because your code generator needs to know about it and stuff. It's not that bad though, I don't think. Like when you generate debug info, you need to like, it's a whole thing, is all I'm saying. Okay, so these are better error messages for these cases. We're going to say improved error messages that happen when using with ifx, when using structs or enums without explicit type designations. So yeah, I should say, I shouldn't say anonymous struct literal, because an anonymous struct sort of is a different thing. Struct literals without explicit type designations. Okay. Okay. So I think we check that in. Just because we're on a roll. Okay. Next. We're really piling up the improvements here. It's not too bad. Okay, so if x so you'll see when we report this error, we just have a caret here. What we really want is to at least highlight that whole keyword. So y I don't understand. Like, it looks to me right here like we set up this bound. That's weird. Bound. That's weird. It's probably something very simple, but what? Keyword effects. Line 554. Oh, okay. I had something selected, and Visual Studio only searches the selection for some reason. So dumb. Like, who would ever want to do that? All right. Tell me the... See, this is why this is so bad. Like, I can't just hover... Like, it doesn't actually work all the time, so I never use it. And then when I start trying to use it, it doesn't work. Like... Oh, wait. Okay, it should... Yeah, this is a UI thing. When you hover here, in this case, it should say can't dereference token for some reason. Although this should still be valid. I don't understand... I don't understand why it thinks it's not valid. This is just... No, this is just debugging info being wrong. Because, like, clearly we got here. I don't know. Yeah, it's debugging info being wrong. Remedy has evaluate on hover. Yes. Okay, so... So bound says what? Line 221.6 to 221.8. All right, so static if should get 221.6 to 221.8. Okay, so when we go reporting the error, like this interface is so bad, like, ugh. All right, when we go reporting an error, I don't remember where it was. Without explicit type designations. All right. This is so... Why do you think I want to see the end of the line? What is even happening here? Okay. Okay, so here, is it... So we weren't looking at this particular one, so I can set a breakpoint when we create it. But I assume that when we create it, it's actually right, and then we stomp it later. That would be my guess. So let's find out. Debug. No. Let's go to parser. And we'll say... static if... oh, this is static if. We're looking in the wrong place. We're looking in completely the wrong thing. Different. Parse if statement or expression. Okay. Yeah, no, this makes sense. We don't have to debug it because we just don't set the range. Well, that was easy. Fixed highlighting for if and if-x in error messages. They showed a caret instead of highlighting the whole word. Okay. Easy clap. Easy clap. Let's make sure the game runs. Oh, I didn't commit before or something. All right. Commit. Oh, I did. I just left it open. Okay. Boom. Easy clap. I'll reply to the person who had reported the internal compiler error. Say this is fixed in the next beta. Okay, that was that one, yeah. Great. Boom, what else is in the mailbag? That one I don't want to look at right now. That one I don't want to deal with right now. Okay. Here's one that we got from people. If you do one of these things on a struct, we don't actually match on structs right now. So we should report an error. Probably. Oh, we have an assertion. Oh, but that's this thing's assertion, I see. We're probably accidentally treating it as a big L value situation. So what if I do this? Yeah. So it actually does match. It's checking the L values of the structs. Which is not really what we want. What I'm thinking now is, are there other types that we need to filter out of this? Like, how about arrays? What's it? No, this is like a switch statement in C. But it's just trying to do it on a struct, which is not something that we support. And I think the compiler just never checks for that. So let's see. He's doing a run just to generate the error, but let's, okay. So the array version compiles also, but this also doesn't work. So like if we do this, it's weird that I just never got around to this. Yeah. Do we compare struct? No, we don't. We don't actually support operator equals for structs unless you define it. Like that's something we could do, but it does not. It doesn't necessarily seem that useful. Now the question is, should we be invoking operator equals? In this case, and maybe the answer is yes, but for now we're going to say no. We're going to say write a letter to your congressperson if you want this feature to support operator overloading. Have a good night. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last issue for the stream because it's bedtime for me soon too. But yes, welcome people who are subscribing. So many people are subscribing. Hello. Hello. Something like memcompare. We have a memcomp intrinsic that's built in to the compiler. And that's what I think I recommend that people use in most cases, right? I don't know if we should allow you to overload operator double equals anyway. I kind of feel like maybe that shouldn't be a thing, but maybe it should. I don't know. Anyway, so I think for now, we just say, bro, who are you kidding? This feature does not work on structs or arrays. No, we already did that. If double equal statements do not support struct or array types, at this time. I mean, that's very brief. And then we'll give information on the condition. Interp report info if condition. Wait. What? This is supposed to be the condition whose location is supposed to be that. So WTF is happening there. Type of this expression is data. Okay, if it's a struct, we'll explain that this is a struct by saying here. So we're just giving you all the info. Here's the okay. So do not support structure array types at this time. Type of this expression is data. Here's a declaration of data. Now, why is that showing that? That seems bad. Oh, it's because of the way. Let me just check the parsing. We're copying the location info to the condition? That's not. What? That's got to be old. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we did that and we said detect attempted use of if equal with struct or array types and report an error. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. Do not support. Okay, so here we want to make this be the if. All right. Here we go. Do not support structure array types. Type of this expression is data, and there. Okay, I'd buy that for $1. Do we do the tests? Yes. Sokoban. Have I tried sea lion? Oh. Wait, what? Woof. Okay. Like, I think this happens to work in this code. Because we set it like, what? This is when the thing I was working on just turned into a bigger issue than I thought. So I think this happened to, so the bug was that when we compare structs by value, we were doing it just by reference, essentially. In this particular case, I think the only time we set these, we set them by reference. So maybe it happened to work in this code. Yeah, okay, so that's the only place we were doing it, and the tests don't do it. So I need to replace this code with equivalent. This is in Sokoban for some reason, but okay. I need to replace this with equivalent. So we have a bunch of different types, but there also is a user-defined type. All right. Do we do an operator equals for this? Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to paste this down here, and I'm going to say okay. Okay. It's about the same amount of code. Okay, that wouldn't affect the test because it's a Sokoban source code change. Redecoration of variable t. I see. Right up there. Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like we're working. I will send an email. This is probably something we will enable in the future. I'm actually not sure about this. Maybe we should just frickin' fix this for real. Like, it's great. Okay, so we fixed the error, but we... So what's happening here is yeah, like here we basically, we assume that we're comparing scalars, and we just generate the code here, right? We don't really do this by like desugaring, but we could actually... So there's two things we could do. One is we could instead of doing all this complexity here, we could just desugar each case into an operator equals. Like, I didn't really want to do that for efficiency reasons, but honestly, it's probably fine, right? Then this code would just look like it would be mostly the same, except it wouldn't have this. It would just it would evaluate the code for the operator equals. and then do a jump if one. So, I mean, honestly, this wouldn't be that much simpler if we always desugar. Oh, and oh, the reason we do this and this is so we can generate more efficient bytecode than we would. So we actually wouldn't want to simplify it more. Actually. So we would need to add. Okay, so I'm going to send this email to the people. I'm not going to try to do operator overloading tonight. What file was that in? I don't even remember what file that was in. Rewrite. Oh, it's in Sokoban, the word rewrite. Rewrite. Capital R rewrite, SL parser. Okay. I will send an email to the team saying I discovered tonight that if double equals statements never got around to supporting operator overloading, and in fact silently, and if given struct or array types, they silently would do the wrong thing. This will get fixed eventually, but it seems important to get rid of the problem for now. So I have made it so that if equal reports an error, if given a struct or array, we only did this once in Sokoban and SL parser. I rewrote the code for now as follows. Probably later we can change it back. Boom. Okay. I'm doing that. I'm going to check that in, actually. Okay. And let's rerun the compiler on the tests. I'm pretty sure it's up to date and good, but let's double check it. Double checking it. Double checking itself before we're wrecking itself. Okay. Fixed in the next beta by reporting an error. Eventually, we will have this invoke operator equal for stuff like structs, but for now, I am focusing on stability and removing bugs. Okay, boom. All right, so I think that's enough for the mailbag for tonight. Did I think I correctly put that into the change log? Yes. Okay. Well, we're getting close to enough value to deliver the value to the people. Probably we need a bit more. So we'll probably do some stuff tomorrow too. But this has been a successful day of working on the compiler. This should say non-matching. Whoops. Wrong thing. Fix a typo in the change log. All right. Pretty good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. And GG's. We'll maybe stream tomorrow. We'll see how we feel. It'll probably not be sub only because we got to give the plebs some streams. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I like these mellow streams. They're nice. They're more enjoyable for me. So thanks for being here. And I'll see you later.